Yo, what's up, guys? We're back here on Showdown today, and I know it's been a minute since I've last uploaded, but life has been a bit rough. Um, Work has been taking up a lot of my time, so it's been pretty difficult to just get up and record like I usually used to. But we're slowly, trying to get back into the groove of consistent uploads or whatever the kids like to call it nowadays. But yeah, just wanted to push this vid out for you guys, and yeah, so today what we're going to be doing is, a quick discussion on Pheromosa, and whether it deserves to be banned or will eventually be banned in current Gen OU. So let's look at it, right? Pheromosa, before I dive into it, I want to give a bit of history on it before I talk about it in current Gen. So Pheromosa was actually banned in Sun and Moon or Gen 7. For those who do not know, for those who are newer, mostly because of the sheer versatility. Like, it could run anything at once, quite literally. It could run physical, life orb, Z moves, or a big thing. Like, was another reason Pheromosa was just dumb. Because things like Flable, Toxapex, will just get blown up by +1 breakneck blitz within the Malium Z or Fatinium Z, which allowed you to get past steel types a bit easier because you didn't have to worry about missing Focus Blast. So it's pretty much a free beast boost because it pretty much killed anything. I think Z Focus Blast was like 180 or something crazy. Special variant, which became a lot more common compared to its other sets as the metagame developed, which eventually resulted in its ban. You also have to keep in mind that things like Aegislash didn't exist in Sun Moon, only existed for a short period of time, which is like a couple of weeks at the beginning of 2016, I believe. And yeah, it just wasn't around to even deal with this. Other things like Moltres were not a thing back then because it just wasn't good. Things like Charizard Y existed, so it's never a reason to use Moltres. So yeah, compared to now, like, and back then, in Sun Moon, a couple years ago, there's just not much counterplay in that gen specifically. And yeah, just Pheromosa with Z moves or like specs was just like too hard to deal with. Special, beat every counterplay you could think of. Outspread literally everything. The fastest Mon that was around back then was Alakazam. We didn't have Regieleki back then, so yeah. And it outspeeds that by like 1 point. So Alakazam would just get messed up, and yeah, ultimately all those things result in Pheromosa's ban. Now let's look at it in current Gen OU. So we have a bunch of different sets here. We have Scarf, which pretty much functions as a revenge killer. Basically meant to revenge kill anything at once because it's so damn fast. Nothing else beats it at +1. Things like Dragon Ball getting outsped if you're Dragon Dance, Dragon Knight if they're not extreme speed. You get cooked by Ice Beam, should you break the multi-scale. Excadrill, Sand Rush is outsped by Scarf, even if Jolly, because that's just how fast Pheromosa is. Your Scale Shot Chomps are getting outsped. Yeah, it's pretty much what Scarf-Mosa is meant to do. Revenge kill anything at once. Fast rapid spin if you want. That's just a flavor slot. You could run Drill Run, Poison Jab, anything you want really. Though Poison Jab rapid spin are more recommended. The Drill Run on the Scarf set is not going to do much to Toxapex. So those are like the best moves to run there. Yeah, it's pretty much Scarf Pheromosa's role. Fastest revenge killer in the game, essentially. Can even late game sweep some offenses or get killed with a clever, something like that. We got Choice Band with Poison Jab, Triple Axle. Poison Jab mainly to catch mons like a Fable and Tapu Fini upon switching. And Triple Axle just to have a solid Ice Stab. Don't really want to run Ice Beam on Band. There's other options such as Drill Run for Toxapex, Rapid Spin, of course. Just depends on the team and what you need Pheromosa what role you need to fulfill on that specific team. But then we come to the demon set special. This set is a monster, which is the reason a lot of people are discussing Pheromosa's ban. I think because physical, like compared to physical, this thing, like just complete monster. Like things like Buzzwole, Moltres are not reliable counterplay to it. And there's other reasons why special is very good, which I also think is Pheromosa's best set by far. Outside having to hit Focus Blast, I think is the main problem with this set. It's your main stab and you're relying on that. But if you hit those, you're good. And it's pretty much Kieran Black, like basically special Kieran Black. Got the Bolt Beam on deck. Hits everything at once. Bug Buzz doesn't really, not really use. Like you hit Solvest Stingrove, which is not very common in OU at the moment. Rillaboom's already smacked up by Ice Beam. And so I have a list actually of the most common or most used Pheromosa checks and counters in order from best to worst. So, well, in my opinion anyway, or what should be the general opinion. So I have Clefable first. Reason I put this first is because outside of Banded Poison Jab, Pheromosa can never really touch Clef. Ice Beam from the special set is doing 48 max, and that's if their life form modest, which they all should be if they're special Quiver Dance. Clef is the only worry is about Poison Jab, and that's pretty much it. And that's only if they catch you on the switch. Otherwise, Clefable is pretty much always safe. Toxapex only worries about Drill Run. Other than that, it's safe. If you're a Spadef, you do even better versus the Quiver Dance Shockwave set, because they're taking Life Orb, they're Scalding, you haze away the boost, and they're eventually going to lose the 1v1 because of all the chip and just being able to take away the Quiver Dance boost. So Spadef Toxapex is pretty much by far and away the best Pheromosa counter, one of the best. And Fizz Def works as well. Beats all physical sets. If they Drill Run, it's fine. You take 50% and you're able to switch to your ground immunity, your flying type, whatever. So they pretty much made no progress if they Drill Run you on the switch. So Toxapex, pretty excellent counter, tried and true. Moltres, newly introduced to OU, finally making waves. Pretty solid mon, like in general, was able to check other things such as Blaziken, Kartana, Rillaboom. It's just a solid mon. Able to take anything from Pheromosa. If it's physical, gets punished by Flame Body, U-turn. They mindlessly click that. They're taking a burn in the process eventually, and then the Pheromosa is pretty much useless. So Moltres overall, again, another counter. Tapu Fini, only concerned about Banded Poison Jab. Same thing as Clef, pretty much. Other than that, it's pretty safe. Though it doesn't like taking repeated shockwaves, because eventually Pheromosa will be able to break through it. Because most of them don't run Spadef, so Shockwave is going to do quite a bit, especially if hazards are up. So you have to be careful. But Tapu Fini is pretty safe counter for Pheromosa. Buzzwole, definitely gonna take a bit of a dive in use with the ban of both Zygarde and Kieran Black, but it's still, pretty useful versus other things like Melmetal. The thing with Pheromosa counters is you have to keep in mind how useful they are outside of being Pheromosa counters, right? So you don't just want to use them on just to handle one thing. It just doesn't make sense. It'll make your team flawed in the long run. But yeah, anyway, Buzzwole able to pretty much just beat physical all the time. Just has such high defense. Rocky Helmet destroys if they ever click triple axle. Doesn't even to a kill. There's like 40 max or something if they banned it. Just pretty good counter for Pheromosa. Same as Moltres. Aegislash doesn't have reliable recovery, so it can get worn down by hazards such as spikes pretty easily, but outside Drill Run is very safe. and it's actually Yu at the moment, but Aegis is pretty underrated, I think. Pretty solid versus the tier. Um, so it has use. Like, it's not some random mon. So Aegis is pretty good counter. Slow King. Uh, yeah, like they don't run bug buzz, like I said, so it's pretty safe actually. Thing is, you have to scout first to see if the U-turn, which is the thing about Pheromosa. Like, you have to fully know the set first. You have to scout and play around. And by that point, your team is probably taking so much damage from trying to scout and figure out what set it is, which applies to, I can say that about any mon, but the thing with Pheromosa is if you don't scout correctly, it's either taking a kill or huge damage on one of your defensive mons. So yeah, we have Soul King, +1 Shockwave is not doing anything because it has such high speed def. Slowbro is a different story. This is like base 80, so that dies. But Soul King is safe versus the special set because lack of bug buzz. And Pelipper, you're sadly mistaken if you think you're taking a Shockwave. So yeah, like outside of that though, it's pretty solid. Though you have to be a bit careful about Life Orb Ice Beam because Pelipper has pretty bad special defense. So after Stealth Rock you get to a kill, but yeah, otherwise pretty good. And yeah, so if we look at this list again, right, and we take into account special Pheromosa, again, like I said, Clef and Pex are pretty much safe. Though if you're Fizdef Pex, it does a ton. There's like 70%, so you can't really stay in and recover in haze like you could with the Spadef set. So you have to be very careful of using Toxic Specs as your Pheromosa answer if you're not Spadef. And if you're Spadef, you're taking a ton from Bandage or something. So Moltres just dies to Ice Beam in combination with Shockwave. So I've seen many players just get ran up on thinking they're safe with their Moltres and they just get blown up. So yeah, Moltres loses to the special set basically 100% of the time unless you have significant Spadef, which is not much reason to run on Moltres outside Pheromosa because you need the Fizdef for things like Metal. So yeah, there's that. And Tapu Fini, again, like I said, pretty reliable outside Bandit Poison Jab. Even Shockwave's not doing much because Fini has excellent Spadef. So yeah, and Buzzwole gets completely murked by a max special attack Ice Beam. Doesn't matter how much Spadef investment you have, you're getting to a KO without Stuff Rock up. Yeah, so Buzzwole just loses to the special variant pretty hard. Aegis Slash is essentially a full-on counter to the special one. Shockwave's not doing anything, obviously. And yeah, it's just overall the best at dealing with it, I think. Though you could have teammates to deal or learn Aegis Slash, and then Mosa can sweep. So there's also that you have to consider. Slow King, like I said, especially when it deals with that pretty easily. And like I said about Pelipper, Shockwave is Oko, so that's not reliable. And yeah, so you see, like, it all depends what Pheromosa has. If it's special, it mercs like half this list. Things like Moltres, Fizdef, Pex, Buzzwole, Pelipper all gets smacked up if they are packing, Shockwave, things like that, which is actually legit coverage because, as you can see, it hits Toxic Pex, Moltres, hits all these things. So yeah, this set is pretty scary, especially for Pheromosa, man. Like, if you're looking at it, like some of these teams, this Sun team right here could just get ran up on by especially Pheromosa. I have Spadef Toko, but it's not a switch in, though it could take one hit, even a Focus Blast. And Mana Buzz is not a counter that gets to a kill by Ice Beam. Podon, pretty sure it's all cold by Ice Beam. Now let's say if we're facing a physical, standard, with your U-turn, close combat, Podon eats all hits. Toko easily eat hits from that. So he's not too bad if I'm facing a physical one, but I'm facing special. Probably gonna have a hard time. This team probably just lose on the spots. Buzzwole, like I said, it's not reliable. Max special attack, Ice Beam really doesn't number to it. Suicune doesn't appreciate Focus Blast. Skarmory, pretty sure dies to Shockwave even. and obviously Landers and the rest just die. So see what I mean? Like, this team is prepared for physical Pheromosa, but if you run up on special, so much you can do. You'd have to make some god plays around that. This team will never get swept by Equivalence. Pheromosa has Clef and Spadef packs, so this team is very safe versus that. Physical as well. This team has Clef, so it's safe, but Mantine is blown up by Shockwave. So just all these things you have to keep in mind when you're playing against Pheromosa. Again, special has been rising in popularity, and it's the set that ultimately got it banned in Sun Moon. So I expect the same in Gen 8. Even without Z moves, it's still, showing that it's a force in the tier. Definitely one of the best mons, with the absence of Karen Black and Zygarde. So, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about Pheromosa, what you think about this vid in general. Do you think Pheromosa will eventually get banned? Do you think it deserves to be banned? What's your favorite sets? All that good stuff, just healthy discussion. And so I think it's pretty much it for this one. I'm gonna wrap it up. And